Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7, text 2. Gnanam teham savignanam idam vakshyamyaseshataha yagnatva neha bhuyonyat gnatavyam avasishyate. So now Krishna, in the previous verse, he said, the first verse of this chapter, Mai asakta manaha partha yogam yunjan madashrayah asamshayam samagram mam yadhagnasyasi. How by becoming Krishna conscious, how by becoming attached to me, how you can asamshayam samagram, you can understand me completely. And what is that understanding of Krishna? That is understanding of Krishna's energies in this material world and the spiritual world, and Krishna, who is the source of both of it. And that is what this verse describes. What is that samagram, understanding of everything, which is gnanam sa vignanam. Gnanam means knowledge of this material world. Vignanam means knowledge of the spiritual world. Or gnanam means knowledge of the spirit soul. Vijnanam means realized knowledge, how to act on the platform of spirit soul. So Krishna is saying, if you surrender to me and hear from me, you will understand. Gnanam te aham savignanam idam vakshyami. I'm going to speak to you. Aseshataha, completely. Yagnatva, yat gnatva, knowing which, na iha bhuyo anyat gnatavyam avasishyate. Anyat gnatavyam means anything else to be known. Na avasishyate. There is no need for you to know anything else if you know this. So knowledge means, gnanam means to understand how Krishna's energy is working in this universe. What is the working force? Just like the scientists, they are searching out different energies, different laws. Just like this earth is floating on weightlessness. Such a huge mass of material body with so many mountains, so many seas, so many oceans, skyscraper buildings, towns, countries, people. It is floating just like a swab, cotton swab in the air. So how is it being done? Of course, the scientists, they describe using law of gravitation. The moment one says law, it is working according to a particular formula, particular order. It is not random. There is no randomness in the entire creation, isn't it? Everything is working according to order. Otherwise, why the scientists are trying to figure out the order behind everything? The equations they're trying to figure out. They have faith that everything works in order. So Prabhupada explains in one place, let's say there is this balloon that floats in the sky. You know, we have seen these balloons that float in the sky. You know, they are filled with helium gas, and it goes and floats. So that is the technique. It can make the object lighter. So similarly, God, is he less intelligent and less powerful than helium gas? He can enter, he can gamavishya cha bhutani dharayami aham ojasa, Krishna says. I enter by my energy, I make these planets float in their orbit. If you actually drill it down, it may be the law of gravitation, whatever we may think. There are so many things still the scientists are not able to figure out. But that is Krishna. Krishna is categorically saying, Gama Vishyacha Bhutani. Because of my energy, it is floating. Now you figure out what is that energy. That is science. If you take the statement of God and try to understand how it is actually being done, then we understand the greatness of God. So, Krishna consciousness means to have all kinds of knowledge. Not that we Krishna conscious people are being carried away by some sentiment. No. We got some philosophy, science, theology, ethics, morality, everything. Everything that is required to be known in human form of life. And Krishna is saying, I'll speak to you all about that knowledge. So a Krishna conscious person should not be a fool. If he is required to explain how these universal planets are floating, how this human body is working, how many species of life, how they are evolving, these are all scientific knowledge. Therefore, Krishna says, Yat Gnatva, if you understand this knowledge from me, which is Krishna conscious knowledge, then you will have nothing to know. You'll have complete knowledge. Actually, we are part and parcel of Krishna. Before knowing further knowledge, we have to get the knowledge that we are part and parcel of Krishna. Our constitutional position is inseparable from Krishna. And people, they deny that fact. Oh, there is no God. We don't need to have God. If there is God, show me. Just like I tell this example. The baby in the womb, two babies in the womb, they're arguing. One atheist and one devotee. The atheist is saying, oh, there is no mother. We are by ourselves. By random nature, the food is being provided to us. Food is available, it's being provided. Just use it and live here and die here. He cannot even if the other baby says, oh no, mother is providing us everything. There is a real world outside, there is a bright world outside. He cannot understand because he cannot see. He is not able to see. It is beyond his ability to see. So if you say, no, show me God, if you are saying God is the controller, God is the one who is providing us everything. So you cannot say there is no controller. In this city, in every street, every house, there is control. There is government control, isn't it? Everything we do is controlled by the government. So a child may say, oh, where is government? I don't see. My tap is working. I'm opening the tap. Water is coming. And we are just getting the ingredients and building. What is government got to do with us? So everything is in order. The fire arrangement, the fire control system, the telephone system, the roads, everything. You cannot cross the roads at this point. You have to stop. So there is control everywhere. Krishna's control is there everywhere. Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So understanding this is knowledge. So Prabhupada also mentions in several occasions that Vijnanam means realized knowledge. How Krishna gives that realized knowledge. He gives this example how he is arguing with so many scientists. Several times, several scientists will come. We challenge these scientists because we are following the path of devotion. We are not scientists ourselves. And we could not challenge unless we are convinced. How is it possible? So Prabhupada says, Krishna says, Krishna reveals this knowledge. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. Tesham evanukampardham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavastho gnanadipena bhasvata. If Krishna reveals, what is there for me to not know anything? If Krishna decides to reveal that to me, then everything becomes so I can challenge the scientists. Of course, it doesn't mean we should be impudent, but if somebody is against God, atheistic, whether they are scientists, whether they are philosophers, or a big person in the eyes of the material world, he is still considered a mudha, a foolish person who denies God. So we can challenge. And Krishna gives intelligence. So there was this couple who went to a restaurant. And so the husband is blind. So the woman takes the husband and goes to the restaurant. They're eating. And the restaurant is also famous for its magic show. So the magician, he's putting up a show and everybody is clapping. And then the magician randomly comes to some tables and does some magic and seeks the response from the people. So he came to this table and he did a magic and the woman is clapping and the husband unfortunately is blind. He's not able to clap and the magician became amused. Oh sir, you didn't like my magic? And then the woman said, sorry, he is actually blind, he cannot see. That is why he's not able to appreciate what you are doing. And then the magician feels bad for him. And he says, please come back next time. And on this day, I'll be performing. And you will see, you will really appreciate. I'll make sure that your husband really appreciates it. Well, all right. And then they come on that day. And then the magician recognizes them and comes and then sits in their table. And then he tells everyone, see, I'm going to have the magic today done by this man, even though he cannot see, but he'll be doing the magic today. And then everybody becomes intrigued how this can be done. And I don't know him at all. And then he opens the pack of cards and he says, you know, this pack of cards has two colors, red and black. And whatever I pick up a random card, I'll make sure this person, even though he cannot see, he will tell exactly the same color. And then everybody thought maybe it'll, by randomly it'll work. How can he make sure every card is properly told? And then he starts the magic. And then one after the other, this blind man starts to say the correct colors. Oh, this is red color. This is black color. And then everybody is amused. How is this happening? Perfectly, he's saying all the 52 cards, or whatever number of cards, are done, and everybody is thrilled. Oh my God, this is really a magic. A blind man is able to say everything without able to see. And then this blind man is laughing and beaming and enjoying the whole show. People are clapping. And then at the end of the night, they're about to leave. And this woman, she comes to this magician and asks him, "How are you able to do this magic? You don't even know my husband." And then he says, "See, when I sat on the table, beneath, I established contact with your husband with my legs. When I said, when I show this red card, I tap on his feet once. And when I show the black card, I tap on his feet twice." And then he instantly got it. And then whenever I show him the red card, I would tap once. And when I show the black card, I would tap twice below the table on his feet. And thereby he is able to explain everything, even though he does not know what it is. Because I am telling him what it is, he is able to tell. And that's how the magic is done. So, this is how Krishna does the magic. Even though we are actually blind to the reality, just like the baby in the womb is blind to the external reality, like a conditioned soul is blind to the reality of spirit, the spiritual world. This universe is like the womb of the mother. We don't know anything else. Even within the universe, we don't know anything. 95% of the universe is made of dark energy and dark matter, of which we have no idea what it is. The more we are trying to enter into this subatomic particles, the more particles are coming out. Why they are behaving, nobody knows the way they do. So, in this material world, people have four defects. Their senses are imperfect, they're illusioned, they commit mistakes, and they have tendency to cheat. So, with these four defects, we cannot get perfect knowledge. So, Krishna has to give that knowledge. So, one time, Prabhupada had some scientific disciples. They they would study various aspects of physics, and they would write some books and understanding about it and present to Srila Prabhupada. And they had one such conversation where they they explained to Prabhupada how this material world, this Earth planet, for example, the probability of life existing is so minute that it is ridiculous to say that there is somebody actually very carefully designed the laws of this universe so that life can exist, because the living structures are so highly complicated that, and mathematically, if you think that evolution, by evolution everything happened, it is impossible. That probability is next to impossible. So there has to be somebody who has to get everything together and then make these things to exist. Like for example, they say that these proteins have formed by themselves. Actually, the proteins are made in what we call ribosomes, or they are the factories for making these proteins, ribosome factories. And the funniest thing is, you know how these ribosomes are made? They are made of proteins themselves. So it is like the chicken and egg problem. So ribosomes came first or the proteins came first? So who made it? It cannot by itself come into existence, because we don't know how the proteins came apart from knowing they are made from ribosomes. If that is the case, how the ribosomes are made? So all these things are mind boggling, unless We bring in the outside aspect that yes, there has to be an intelligent creator for these things. And one disciple mentioned a very interesting aspect, how the scientists, as much as they may say, we have discovered everything, but they also acknowledge that something from within is guiding them. There is one mathematician named Gauss. Gauss lived in 19th century, and his concern was to solve mathematical problems. And the interesting thing is that a very difficult mathematical problem, the person never solves it by figuring it out consciously step by step. But what happens is that he tries very hard to figure it out for a long time and nothing happens. And then all of a sudden the answer comes to him. It is an experience that we all have. We struggle, nothing seems to work. And suddenly one day that thought comes, that idea comes. So this Gauss, he said, he acknowledged actually, these are his words. I have succeeded not on account of my painful effort, but by the grace of God. Like a sudden flash of lightning, the riddle happened to be solved. I myself cannot say what was the conducting thread which connected what I previously knew with what made my success possible. See, he acknowledges the answer got revealed by the grace of God. So Prabhupada smiled at that instance when they told, and he said, so the chance theory that people say is nothing but the grace of God. People say, by chance I got this. But actually, it is the thought is given by Krishna, by grace of God. And Prabhupada explained further. Why is it grace of God? It is because if God sees that this rascal is trying for so many years, all right, give him a chance. This is his grace. And people take it as chance. The disciples also gave another example. There is a famous person called Mozart. He is famous for his symphonic compositions. And he admitted that when these come to my mind, I do not know. How they come, I have nothing to do with it. So you see, all these things, Krishna is giving the intelligence, the thoughts from within. So actually, knowledge is revealed. Spiritual knowledge is revealed by the higher authority. Even material knowledge has to be revealed. If you go to the university, you have to study the knowledge under the guidance of a professor. Only when the professor becomes pleased with you, of course, now you pay and get the knowledge. He becomes pleased by the payment. Either way, you have to please. If you have to study the book, you have to buy the book, pay the knowledge person who is having that knowledge. Then you get the knowledge. So, what to speak of spiritual knowledge? That which is completely beyond our ability to comprehend. It has to be revealed. So Prabhupada quoted several times this shloka from Bhagavatam. Athapite deva padambujadvaya prasadaleshanugruhita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. When one has got prasada lesha, the mercy of Krishna, just a particle of the mercy of Krishna, padambujadvaya prasada lesha anugruhita. When Krishna becomes pleased, then janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno. That person only can understand everything. So it is not by our own efforts we can understand either this knowledge of this world or knowledge of the spiritual world or knowledge about Krishna. It is when Krishna reveals. And when Krishna reveals, seeing our humility and service attitude. Swayameva spurat yadaha. The senses are blunt material senses. The senses we have are not sharp to understand spirituality. But sevon mukhehi jihvadav, when we engage them in service and remain humble, then Krishna reveals that knowledge. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.